Good evening, folks. Welcome to the second webinar of the webinar series by OSDF Community. So today the topic of the webinar is Guardians of Cyber, Harnessing AI for Ultimate Security, and we have Aditya D as the speaker. So before moving on to the speaker session, let me give you a brief intro about our community. So our community is for the developers, by the developers, and we have students as well as professionals working in corporates. So we provide resources like notes and job postings, job referrals. We also have events like this and partner with many communities to promote open source events where students or developers can participate and contribute to open source projects. We will attach the social links of our community in the description of the YouTube video. And as you can see, we have partnered with FOSS Club Triple IT Kalyani for this webinar. And just one thing to remember, if you have any questions, just put it down in the chat box and the speaker will address to that question. Thank you, and yes, Aditya, you can start.
Be going through these topics today, that is understanding threat landscape, what is AI techniques in cybersecurity, and I'll be showcasing a demo on AI powered threat detection and about that, and in another demo for cyber defense and how AI can be used in incident response, open source contributions in that, and ethical practical considerations and future trends, Q&A sessions. So about myself, I am Aditya D, and I am a DevOps engineer at Sparkcognition from the past 1 year. I am interested in ML, AI, DL, DevOps, cloud, cybersecurity, ethical hacking. I have written 50 plus blogs on ML and software engineering, and I have co-authored around 10 research papers, out of which two are in Google Scholar, and I have won 4 hackathons, and now I'm currently handling around 5 communities. One is OS community where I am the co-founder. Other one is Women in Tech where I am the founder. The third one is I recently joined as a community growth associate at PHI CSIT, and I am assistant community manager at Witty Security, and I am cybersecurity expert at Compute His Community. So these are my socials. You guys can take a screenshot. So first, we'll be looking into cyber threat landscape. Like, how is the current scenario? Uh, New kinds of threats are emerging, like from the last 5 to 10 years. So the measure of this is advanced persistent threats. That is, one person or the threat person or the hacker, he carries attacks like for a long time, and they steal data and disrupt the operations. That is, they disrupt the working. For example, you can take Microsoft outage. So the hackers will be trying to hack into their servers each and every time. So the trends these days are that the attacks are increasing in frequency. So this leads to a huge amount of a loss, in the Microsoft outage. As you can see, the airlines were affected, and even many industries were affected which were using their services. And there are challenges are like, we used to first take measures after the incident occurs, rather than taking preventive measures. And zero day exploits, these are basically what happens is when an attack happens, or when you release a product, the same day the attack might happen, and we might not know the vulnerability is there. So we have to be prepared for that. And there are organizations which lack the resource and their expertise for combating these threats. So we'll be seeing this one by one. So the first type of threat is malware. Malware are basically, these are in the form of files. You can call Trojan as there, viruses are there, worms. These are type of viruses actually, basically. So they'll be in the form of a document or kind of links, which when you click redirects you to a malicious site, that is a site which is developed by the hacker, and they can easily see your data, your credentials. Ransomware is like you have your data and they will demand money to release it. You won't be able to access your own data. That is called as ransomware. The next type is phishing and social engineering. So phishing is basically they send emails such that it is sent by someone you know, and uh, this might contain sensitive information. Also, they can steal, like for example, passwords, or there are some emails called as urgent, like that. And sometimes they pose as someone. Uh, like they make everything look legit, but there will be mistakes. And how to identify that? I'll show you one example for that. Yeah. So this is one of the examples. It looks as if it is coming from my HR, but actually it is not. And how did I know that? First thing first, if you check, this is not the Gmail of my HR. Second thing, right now, see, the urgency is there here. If it is a legit email, there won't be, like kind of urgency won't be there in that. So this is an example of phishing which I've reported. So the other type is DOS attack. DOS is denial of service. So what the attacker does is he sends traffic via XSS scripting or other types, and this makes the target unavailable to the people who are using it. So to release that, he might ask money, or for a long time he will take all the data and then he'll release the site. Distributed denial is like you are using multiple systems. Like for example, you have a company, you are in a company, and one of your employee emails gets hacked. Using that employee's email, he hacks the other employees, and using that, he can hack the entire company database and make it unavailable. So that is distributed. And best example, you can use botnets for this as well. Botnets are basically malware affected systems. And the other type is advanced persistent threats. So this is like long term, that is, he keeps on doing it again and again and again. It causes a lot of damage and lot of loss in terms of financial ability. These are the new kinds of threats which are emerging now. So the first is IoT vulnerability. Since IoTs have come, the devices, their networks, it is not secure. Like you can easily there will be so many vulnerabilities, you can easily hack into the hardware. And this can be used for botnets as well, like where many IoT devices which are being used by the company are hacked. And this can lead to like large amount of data loss, financial loss, and even customers will be facing a lot of uh, issues. So the second type will be cloud security challenge. That is, sometimes when you're configuring cloud, that is, for example, you're using Google Cloud, or you're using Microsoft Azure or AWS. When, for example, especially when you're setting the permissions there, you should be careful that you're setting it properly, because one small mistake, entire cloud can be hacked. So it is better to prevent that rather than doing damage control. Insider threats, there are some employees who, like for example, you can say ex employees, and they haven't disabled their credentials, so they can still access. And for uh, some kind of issues, or some kind of they are in a new company which is their competitor, so they can access this data and provide their new company about the data about the old company. Yes, Saurabh, we are right. And so now we move on to the AI part, how AI can be used. So what basically what AI is, you are simulating like not training the machines to act as if a human brain is, you know, working, but it's not 100% possible. But yeah, they're trying. So you can use AI techniques in cybersecurity. For example, you can use AI for detecting threats. There are like many models which you can use. Uh, for example, classification models, regression models. You can even use deep learning. And for incident response, you can use AI for responding to incidents and notifying you. And threat intelligence, it's like kind of entire security console which can help in seeing threats and all. We'll be into our first demo. We'll be integrating ML into Snort tool. So I have used one repo. Yeah. So I'll be going inside that first. This is one repo which is kind of a preprocessor for Snort. Snort is basically a tool which analyzes traffic and for basically for intrusion detection. That is, if anything malicious is happening, this will inform me. So these are all the configurations I had made. Now to run this, now here I am running this in console mode. That is, if any errors, the logs will be stored. And snort.conf is the configuration where I can add the preprocessors or delete preprocessors which I don't want. That is basically AI based. And this ETH0 is the interface. My interface is WL01. And how to know your interface is just do IPA. So you will have this low WL01, GPD01, Docker 0, ton 0, ton 1. So basically here I'll be doing the snort one. I'll be using WL01, which is my Wi-Fi network. So once I run this, it'll ask for a password and it will start running in intrusion detection mode. Now to check the logs, serious snort. So you have your snort.log here. So I can say cat snort.log dot permission denied. Sudo. Okay. Yeah. So this is in binary format actually. So to you have to convert it to human readable format to see what are the logs. So basically, if any kind of intrusion is there, it will store the alerts. I'll show you the config file as well. Cat sudo nano slash etc slash snort.conf. So this is the snort configuration file, and these are some variables which I have defined. That is basically for path. These are the ports which it is supposed to scan, and for decoding and all these are paths for that. So here we are initializing the this dynamic preprocessor will contain the models which you want, and these preprocessors, these are the ones which will process the data it captures, that is the logs, and we have defined here. So basically what this will do is it will scan the entire network and we keep scanning until I press Control C. So you can see ICMP unreachable. So that port is unreachable and it will send this as a log. So it will give me information here. If someone is trying to access, it will show that password. I mean access tried something like that, or access denied something like that. It will show me. So this is how we are using AI here. AI is basically, it is detecting that someone is trying to access my system. So this is one of the demos. Now if I press Control C, it will stop. So this was the example for AI powered threat detection. So this AI, as I showed, it can identify threats. That is, if someone is trying to access or someone is doing, doing anything malicious in my system, and then it can do real-time threat monitoring, anomalies, as I said, and there are some case studies related to this which you guys can explore. So Dark Trace, this is one such tool which helps in threat detection, and it uses AI, and it's used in finance, healthcare, and manufacturing industries. They use this. One more example is IBM QRadar. This was developed by IBM, and it is basically for all the security locks. It detects using those locks and alerts if anything is there. And Cyclans is another one for endpoints. Endpoints are basically the hardware which you have sent to the customer site or something like that. I mean, similar to that. So this Cyclans, it is used in energy or education, legal service industry. AI in threat. So now in threat intelligence, AI, what it can do, you have a huge amount of data, like about previous whatever has happened incidents or previous hackings and all. So it can easily go through the data and it can identify the patterns in that, and based on those patterns, you can predict what might happen, what events might occur, and you can beforehand secure itself. And also it can also generate provide steps for preventing the stuff. So the tools which does this are Darktrace, FireEye, Crowd, Strike Falcon, Cyclans, Cortex Soar, etc. So the second demo is on AI in predictive cyber defense. So for that, I'll open a new tab. I'm using Elasticsearch, Kibana, and Suricata. Suricata is a tool which captures network live network traffics, what like from all interfaces, or if you define the interface, only that particular interface. This is the command. I have set up Suricata. So this is the command to start Suricata after all the configurations. So as you can see, now it is, there are a set of rules which are defined in Suricata rules. So based on that rules, it detects if any threats are there, or and it provides all the network data, and that network data is stored in the Kibana. And I'll show you how to check that. So this is my Kibana, and I had already tested it. So I have something called as a demo dashboard. So I had done, just for testing purpose, I had made a graph using the data with timestamp by count. Now I'll make one more for you guys. Go to the visualize library. So click on create new visualization. I choose lens. Okay. And I want a data table here. So I'll select here. So I'll take table, or I'll take one bar graph. I'll take select a field. So I want for suppose source IPs. So we have different metrics here, and I'll for example I'll go with destination port, supposing. And here also you have to select one record. So I'll choose the DNS ID, supposing. Okay. So I'll add a plus here. Horizontal axis, you have to see count or average, max, median, whichever you want. So I'll take on count. So you'll get a graph like this. So you can even make models as well here. You can click on machine learning. Wait, first I'll save this, and existing dashboard I'll save it to demo. Title I'll be like test port versus count of records, and I'll save it. Okay, so now we can add huh, we can add machine learning models also. I'll click on that and I'll click on confirm. So now here you can import your data. You can select your index pattern, but you need a free trial and it might ask credit card. So that's why I didn't start the trial. But if you plan to take Elasticsearch Pro and all, so you can do all this stuff in that. So this is my second demo. So in cyber defense, that is what I showed. You can AI can analyze the past data and even it can analyze the live data as I showed. Uh, if you do Control C, this will stop here. Using Surikata, you have Threat Hound. You can even use Security Onion for that. And by identifying the patterns, you can say that okay, this vulnerability is there. We can this might occur. This attack might occur like that. So you can be vigilant. That is, you can be ready before it hand itself. So in automating incident response, AI we can use AI to automate many response tasks. That is, by responding to emails. Uh, you can also respond to messages as well using that. So you will not keep a person for specifically for that. And you have some of tools like Splunk. You have Splunk, you have Phantom, you have IBM Resilient, you have Cortex Xor, you have Swimlane, Samplify. So these they can analyze the messages, emails coming, determine whether they are spam or whether they are phishing attacks, and based on that they can respond accordingly and alert you as well. And benefits is that if you are able to automate, then you will be saving time for response and all, and you can also minimize the damage. That is, you can also minimize the amount of attacks it's happening. Now, open source contributions in cybersecurity. So you can contribute towards these tools in AI and cybersecurity. So, for example, you have TensorFlow. Snort itself is a GitHub library, and you can contribute that on GitHub. You have TensorFlow, you have Keras, Snort, Python itself. So, how will you contribute? There is something called as an issue. Now, okay, he has closed that. So, e-commerce shipping, this which I had done, which I had contributed today itself. So, you can open an issue like this, describe what you will be doing there, or there will be templates basically. And after that, they might ask stuff, so which you have to reply. Once you do that, go to the code, you click on fork. I've already forked, so that's I'm not forking again. So once you fork, it will come like this. See, this is the fork. It will show forked from Abhishek. Now what I can do here is you can do via command line as well as via UI. This person he has disabled for command line, so I'm showing via UI itself. So see these many branches, like one issue per branch. So you can go to view all branches. You can click on new branch and create a new branch. So I have done these many branches, around 10 out here. And once you make the branch, you can upload your files. For example, I have made here e-commerce, and this person, he requires a particular format. So here the data set is there, images, that is the result images which I have got. This is the model, and this is the results, that is the CSV files which I have generated. So I have to do all your coding stuff for all the changes you want to do, and put it in a folder here. Then you can directly go, click on add file, click on upload files, and you can upload the entire folder. The condition is the size shouldn't be greater than 25 MB. If it is there, then you have to put it in a drive. Else, what you can do, else it shouldn't be more than 100 files at a time. So you can upload like that, and you have to create a pull request. So again, you can create directly from yours, or you can go to Abhishek's uh, repository. And okay, he has closed my pull request. So e-commerce, as you can see, so you can open a pull request here. It is comparing between his branch and the branch which I have pushed my code to. So like once you upload the changes, it will automatically show compare and pull. Or you can come here, click on UN pull request. You can compare, see my base main, and you can compare with your branch, and you can create one pull request here. So if everything is correct, it will be merged, and you will be able to see your code directly here. For example, you can take this e-commerce itself, e-commerce shipping. This is what I had contributed. So it is there in the main branch. He has merged it. So you'll be able to see what and all I have done, how is the code, and you'll get my socials as well, which he has asked me to add. So this is how you're doing. Oh, this is about open source. Now we'll be going into ethical and practical considerations. So first we'll be looking ethical implications. So first and foremost is privacy concerns. So we have to make AI systems with cybersecurity such that the data is protected and privacy is maintained. That is, it should you shouldn't publicly show your customers' data. And you know in AI algorithms, when you are training for this particular purpose, ensure there's no bias. Bias in the sense there is no overfitting or underfitting. Overfitting is like you are making the model in such a way that you are taking too many epochs, and you are basically overdoing it, overcooking it. Whereas in underfitting, you are taking less number of epochs, or less without hyper parameter tuning, and you are undercooking that basically. So now, challenges and limitations when you're doing the malicious use. That is, the AI technologies nowadays they are using for all the wrong things. For example, you might have heard of deep fakes. So they are basically impersonating, and that is one kind of social engineering attack. And current limitation is, shouldn't rely too much on AI as well. I mean, in the sense, there are limitations of AI as well. Improving that, putting patches so that the data is secure, and the data which we train should be of quality, and it should be interpretable. So best practices is you should develop systems that are transparent, that is people can also understand what's going on, and they can also trust on what you're doing. Continuous monitoring is like you have to keep on monitoring the system, so that you should also know whether it is working properly, or new issues are coming, you should put patches so that issues doesn't arise. That is what you call as continuous monitoring. And ethical frameworks, you can make guidelines which all people from your company can follow, so that data is secure, and responsibility, become more responsible while using AI in cybersecurity. Future trends, uh, Now people are started using quantum computing for enhanced encryption, advanced machine learning algorithms, like now diffusion models are coming out and Gen AI is coming out, so we can integrate that as well. And seeing this AI will become a very very important part of autonomous security system, and there will be an increase in the use of AI for threat hunting as well. So for preparing for that, we can keep on updating ourselves. There are many resources available uh, to upskill for free, and you can do R&D on that. I'm an R&D guy, so you can do R&D as well. New papers you can see in Google Scholar, recent papers, read that, understand what they are found, how that can impact. We can spend time on that as well. So now time for some questions. Okay, before questions, so guys, this link will be provided by Saumili. Do follow. We'll be uploading all the videos, all our sessions in this YouTube channel.
Yes, so
Yeah.
if you want to rewatch this webinar, it will be uploaded in the YouTube channel. And please answer the questions.
Yeah. Can you share some good repositories for open source contributions in cybersecurity apart from ML Crate? That's actually the easiest repository which I'm contributing, honestly. But if you want, good repositories, you can directly go to GitHub, and you have no. There will be events, for example, Social Summer of Code, Vinyasa Summer of Code, Girl Script Summer of Code. So you can find many stuff like that. I'll go to Vinyasa Summer of Code. So they have their own projects. There is a tab for that where we can check the thing.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
see if
see
you
if you
can
can
click on
click
the
on the
projects
projects
here.
here,
So you
so
have
you have
so
so
many
many
repositories there,
repositories there,
and you
and
can
you can
choose
choose
your,
your,
you can
you
add
can add
filters here.
filters
For
here. For
example,
example,
technologies you
technologies you
have.
have.
Docker comes
Docker
under
comes under
cybersecurity
cybersecurity
itself, so you
itself,
can
so you
click
can
on
click on
Docker.
Docker.
You'll have
You'll have
something called
something
as
called as
online code
online code
runner.
runner.
So you can
So you
apply
can
your
apply your
filters here
filters
as
here
well,
as well,
or
or
you can
you can
explore one by
explore one
one
by
if
one
you
if you
want.
want.
These kind
These
of
kind of
events,
events,
it is,
it is
they help
they
us
help
in
us in
getting more
getting
and
more
more
and more
projects.
projects.
Or you can
Or you can
directly go
directly
to
go to
GitHub,
GitHub,
choose any
choose any
random topic.
random
For
topic. For
example, if you want
example, if you want
cybersecurity, it will
cybersecurity, it will
showcase all the
showcase all the
repos based
repos
on
based on
cybersecurities.
cybersecurities.
For
For
example,
example,
cyber security
cybersecurity
search in
searching
all.
all.
So you'll
So
see
see,
awesome ML
awesome
for
ML for
cybersecurity,
cybersecurity
offer a
offer a
blue team
blue
like
team
that.
like
It will
that. It will
show, and
show,
you
and
can
you can
apply
apply
filter as
filter
well.
as
Like
well.
here,
Like here,
for
for
example, I
example,
want
I
in
want in
Python,
Python,
so it will
so it
show
will
in
show in
Python.
Python.
You have to
You have to
explore.
explore.
For
For
addressing
addressing
issues
issues
of
of
bias and
bias and
fairness in
fairness
AI.
in AI.
So
So
basically, when
basically, when
you're
you are
training the
training the
model,
model,
you can
you can
basically
basically
plot
plot
graphs to
graphs to
check
check
train and
train
test
and test
accuracy
accuracy
graphs. You
graphs.
can
You
check
can
that
check
to
that
see
to
if
see if
there is
there is
a
a
line of
line of
good fit.
good fit.
Okay, I'm not
Okay, I'm
able
not
to
able
get
to
that
get that
notebook.
notebook.
So
So
basically,
basically,
you can
you can
plot the
plot the
training and
training and
testing
testing
accuracies.
accuracies.
So it
So it
will
will
kind of
kind of
make
make
a
a
line
line
graph.
graph.
So in the
So in
line
the line
graph,
graph,
if
if
both are
both
like
are like
almost
almost
overlapping each
overlapping
other,
each
it
other, it
means that
means that you are
you
not, you
haven't
haven't
underfitted or
underfitted or
overfitted.
overfitted.
And if
And if
test
test
accuracy is
accuracy is
above train
above train
accuracy,
accuracy,
higher than
higher
that,
than that,
it means
it
you have
means you have
overfitted.
overfitted.
If it is below, it is underfitting. So to tackle this, you can basically do hyperparameter tuning. That is, adjusting the number of epochs, or changing the optimizer like from Atom to others. Or you can check for other models as well. You can use multiple models. So that is how it can be addressed. How can you solve the issues of transparency and explainability in AI? for solving the issues of transparency and explainability. So basically, when you develop a solution, no, it is better you take the customer into a call and give a demo of them, show them how their data is being secured, how the AI is working, so that they won't have the issues of whether to trust the AI or not. You can show that it is secure, your data is secure, you're not worry, you can trust the AI. You can tell them like that. Since my company is an AI one, so yeah, we do like that. We first implement it, show them how it is secure, how we are using their data and all, so that they trust the tool as well as us. What articles or websites? Uh, I for data and AI, I follow towards data science, and All India AI magazine is there. That also you can follow. For cybersecurity, you can there are many free courses in YouTube which you can follow for that. And if you want articles, you can go for Medium as well. Stay updated with latest advancements is like via by reading research articles. Basically, you can find it in Google Scholar, you can find it in Science Direct and other websites, or you can attend conferences as well. Impact of Okay, see, cybersecurity skills. The only extra thing is you need not go like totally deep into AI for implementing. First, be thorough with what you want to implement. You can study only that part and implement that, and you should be aware of the errors and bugs which might occur in that. So basically, what Udipan you're asking is about MLOps, which is ML and cybersecurity together. Yes, ML ops now. LLM ops has also come with the introduction of LLM. So it is, keep on, they'll be keep on going forward and forward.
For this webinar, we actually collaborated with FOSS Club, Triple ID Kalyani, and so the head of the club, Subroto, is here. So, Subroto, if you want to say anything, you can say. Yeah, the stage is all yours. Hello,
Huh.
is Subroto here? I think he's
Not
not here. Okay, okay. Yeah, so they have events on open source, so you can join them as well. If there are like no more questions, we can end it here.
Okay, I guess we can end.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, we can end. So, okay, thank you all for joining and for asking your queries. Thank you.